I've lived in a Google Home powered apartment for years, and it's become an absolute nightmare. Why? Why is this happening? Why? Because Google, for everyone who's wanted a smart home, Amazon, Google, and Apple gave us regular people a glimpse of what it's supposed to be like. Just call out to your assistant and tell it something you need. I will not use any trigger words for your speakers, or so I hope. You yell out, "Assistant, set a timer for 30 minutes," or "Assistant, turn on the living room lights," or random questions like, "Assistant, what's the national capital of Australia?" Oh, and if you know that one, let me know in the comments. A lot of people get this wrong, by the way. Hint, it's not Sydney. Google Home is almost 10 years old. It turns 10 in November 2026. We're supposed to be having flying cars, but I'm here yelling at a plastic puck because its brain has turned to goo. Somehow, Google Home went from reliable, to more powerful, to one of the most frustrating pieces of technology I own in my home. It's not just me, by the way. This isn't some kind of wonderful World of Iyaz special. Oh no, this is affecting lots of us. Head to the Google Home subreddit. What was once a thriving place for automation discussions or seeing how you could push home to do awesome things is now ridden with complaints. We'll get to some of those complaints. But what the Fitbit happened? Well, Google went full Google on this, leading to a big, ugly mess. Here's how things were. Google introduced its smart speaker after Amazon introduced its line of smart speakers. Amazon got people comfortable with the idea that a speaker in your home that listened to whatever you say is a good idea. With skills, Amazon's offering got smarter, which allowed it to interact with other smart home devices. 2 years later, Google's all, "Wait, we have a voice thingy called Google Assistant. Let's get people used to talking to us." Think of how good it would be for them to have the world's information just by asking. We'd also collect data, but shh. So like a nerd, I bought both for my home to see which was better. Amazon was great for putting things in my shopping cart, setting timers, and playing an interactive version of Jeopardy, which I enjoyed. Google Home, on the other hand, could answer strange questions, set timers, and had access to my Google Calendar for all kinds of helpful information. So far, so good. After using both for a while, I found Google Home to be a better fit for me. Why? The Amazon Echo was super impatient. Let's say I wanted to know the weather for the weekend. "Hey speaker, what's the weather for the weather's gonna be fine. For the weekend, just wait for me. Just wait, okay?" I wasn't done with my question. Gosh, my smart speaker's impatient. What a cruel reality. Nothing will ever be worse than this. Well, Google was more forgiving. I could pause and it would wait for me to finish before answering me. If these two assistants were people, I would have to give the Amazon one a decaf coffee or a tranquilizer. Slow down, just slow down. Google, you get the good parking space. Then it got bad. Unnecessarily bad. Occasionally, I would have to disconnect and then reconnect my Google Home account with my smart lights or a third-party app. Okay, that happens, nothing's perfect. Then it got worse. I'd ask Google to play music on a speaker group and I'd wait, and wait, nothing. Try the command again. Nothing. Okay, how about I rename the group? Will that help? It worked. But was that the real fix, or did I just get lucky with time? This would happen over and over again. Well, nothing's perfect. By the way, whole home audio is really fun. There's nothing like blasting oldies like Madonna's Material Girl while you're cleaning or something. Yes, it's an older audience. It's from 1985. That's 20 years before iShowSpeed was born. So I went to the Google Home subreddit and found some workarounds. Create automations so Google understands my commands. So there I go, creating automations with easy to remember code names like Sanders, meant to toggle the living room lights because I was watching a KFC ad when I made the automation. Then Google got Assistant happy. It was on everything, including the Pixel Watch. Cool, let me try that too. Guess what? The Google Assistant on the Pixel Watch did not support automations at first. Let me get this straight. I created an automation with a Google app for Google hardware, then I use other Google hardware to invoke a command, and the watch says it can't do it. Assistant was inconsistent. Fine, nothing is perfect. And then Gemini arrived. This is Google's super smart AI assistant. It could understand what you said, but what's more, it could understand what you meant. You could fix your questions mid-question and Gemini would handle it. Super. This is when Google Home started becoming a mess. Those issues I mentioned, disconnection, stalling, they just got worse and more frequent. Let's go to that subreddit to see the kinds of issues people are having. Here's the monthly complaints and rants mega thread for March 2026. At the top, sorry, I don't understand from all 4 of my devices. It's incapable of anything. I'm going to destroy these and replace them next chance I get. Not with Google Homes for sure. One person said they told Google to turn off the light and set the TV to HDMI 2. Light does nothing, TV does nothing, and the Nest Hub starts reading out a description of what HDMI 2.0 is. It used to work, why does it just get dumber? Another person, I can't set timers in the kitchen, can't change music tracks on any devices, can't change the volume of the music or speaker voice. It's become mostly useless at the current state. What is this? I've had similar issues at home. Here's why there's rage around Google Assistant. Google Assistant used to work. Like it did the things Google said it would do. Then Google improved its voice assistant technology, which can be very useful for searches and things, but makes a terrible assistant. So how does Google handle this seething anger? Let's look at the latest release notes for Google Home. There's a note about responsiveness and accuracy. Smart home latency. Your most common smart home commands are now faster. Everyday commands like turn on the lights should see latency improvements up to 40%. There's also an alarm and timer improvement. For example, ask what was the original time of my timer and how much time is left? It's been nearly 10 years, Google. 10 years. Now we're getting faster commands. Now we're getting latency improvements. But Iyaz, they're making improvements. You just talked about the release notes. True. That's true, all right. And if you think the software's a mess, wait until you look at the hardware. It's like Google doesn't even know what to call the things they're selling us. In 2016, we got the Google Home speaker. It looked like an air freshener. There it is. 4 years later, we get a second generation speaker. This time it's called Google Nest Audio. That's right, Google rebranded its smart home devices since it bought Nest. That makes things very clear to people, right? You want the second generation Google Home speaker, it's called Nest Audio now. Deal with it. The Home Mini came out in 2017, the Google Nest Mini 2019. All right, smaller, cheaper Google speakers, that's fantastic. Okay, it also seems like Google's dropping the Google Home thing other than for apps, I guess. Oh, and Google is releasing a new speaker in the spring of 2026. Is it called the Nest Audio 2? No, of course not. It's called the Google Home speaker. If you got this far, you're as big a nerd as I am. Google confuses us with its ridiculous branding. Could you imagine what it does to the normal people? Anyone remember the Google Chromecast with Google TV? What kind of name is that? What is that? Why is that? Then there was Google's reputation for killing products and features. Check out killedbygoogle.com. The big Google Home speaker, the Max, lasted 3 years. Google Stadia, Google's attempt at cloud gaming, arrived with a lot of hoopla. Google's cloud gaming solution would let you play games on any internet-connected device. All the work would be done in the cloud, and you wouldn't need to have a super powerful computer to play them. Great idea. Then it's dead after 4 years. Older nerds, do you remember the Nexus Q, the spherical media player? Project Aura, a modular phone concept? All dead ends. Right now, Google Home is an absolute nightmare. And worst of all, Google had a working model and then messed it up. Nerds like us are the people others come to for recommendations, and Google consistently gets in its own way. If someone was starting a smart home today, I don't know if I would recommend Google's platform right now. If Google's promised fixes, let's see them work. Google, listen to me. Breaking things for the people who took a chance on your new products makes us a lot less likely to tell people, hey, get a Google Home solution, it'll work. I don't dislike Google stuff, by the way. I enjoy a lot of the company's products, but Google's flaky, man. I know you've got a favorite dead Google product. Mine was Google Reader. What's yours? Tell me in the comments, or you could email me, feedback@PCMag.com. Talk to me on the subway if you want. Just identify yourself first. I'm Iyaz Akhtar, and I'll see you online.